Hey guys, welcome back to Smile More Decor. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a cute tree topper bow. This is the one I made, and I made it with like an extra thick wired ribbon because I wanted mine to be really thick. And I have this little small tree that I'm using in the living room, so I am going to place it on the top. Okay, look how cute that looks. You can always fluff it up a little more if you want it a little floofier, but we're doing a small tree, so I didn't want my bow to be really big this year. So stay tuned, watch the tutorial, and I want you guys to comment below if you try the bow or to let me know your tips and tricks on making large tree topper bows. Thanks. Just go ahead and gather your supplies. This is the bow that I'm going to be using. I got from Michael's. You can get yours at any local craft store. It's very soft fabric. It's going to match my candy cane garland, which is why I chose it. You're going to need some craft scissors, some embroidery thread, and you're also going to need some hot glue. So find the end of your ribbon, and that's going to be your first fold. This one is pretty easy for me to keep track because it has lines. This is going to be the width of your bow, so make sure you're folding it the width that you want. I don't want mine too big because I'm doing a skinny tree this year. And what you're basically going to be doing is folding it, each loop over the other. Now we're working outer layers of the ribbon to inner layers. So these should be the longest ends that you want. The next ones you're going to pile the fold a little bit smaller just so there's a little bit of contrast between it, and just make sure your ends are lining up. This is why the wired bow is preferred for making these kinds of bows, because you can easily flex and maneuver the bow with you. Now, one tip, if you have bow like mine's where one side is soft and the other side is rough, you want to keep the soft side that's going to be presented forward. So when you're doing your folds, just make sure you're folding up and back. You don't want the outside of the bow contrasting for when it gets unfolded. Just make sure that you're lining up each one. What I'm doing is I'm making 2 long outer, 2 medium size outer, and then the center is going to be the smallest piece. So I'm just making sure that they all match from one side to the other. So just make sure everything is even and straightened out for when we sew. And you want to make sure you're leaving enough for as long as the tail you want. I'm doing a short tail, so I don't want it very long. And then I'm just going to make sure I have an even number on each side. I'm going to do 4 on the left, my middle, and then 4 on the right. So now it's time to get our embroidery thread, and we are going to be sewing it. This is to keep the center stable so we can fan out and style our bow. This is recommended if, one, you don't have any zip ties or wire that'll fit yours. My ribbon is very thick, and it will not be the style I want if I try to zip tie or use wire. So I'm just going to do some embroidery thread and make sure it's extra tight. Once you finish showing your middle, just check and make sure that when you're folding, nothing comes apart, there's nothing loose, everything's secured. Now you can have fun fanning out your bow. I'm doing just very simple 4 on the left, 4 on the right in my centerpiece. I want it to be almost a flat style where it's not too fluffy, because like I said, I'm using this on a smaller skinny tree, so I don't want the tree topper to take over the entire tree. So just go ahead and fan it, give it a nice little plump and volume. Depends on how you're going to be styling your bow, how much fussing you want to do with it. So now I'm going to work on my tail, and if you are doing a one-piece tail, you're just going to flip it over. Now I'm doing a one-piece tail because I started at the end of the other string to fold, so that's only going to leave you with one tail end. So what I'm going to do is hot glue it. That way it stays in place, and then I can cut it after. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half now so that we have 2 tail ends. Voila! 2 tail ends. Boom, it's the perfect width that I want, because again I want it in short bow. I'm going to cut to make my ribbon that cute little V end that you see. And all you have to do is fold it in half and cut out a triangle. If you want to make sure that they're the same, just use that piece you cut out to kind of be your guideline for the second one. It looks super cute, and I'm just going to do a little bit more frilling to it, fan it out a tiny bit more. And we're almost done. What I'm going to do is attach a piece of wire. This is craft wire that you can get literally anywhere. I know it's super thin, so it's kind of hard to see. But what I do is I fold it in half and I twist it. And I'm going to make a loop on one end of the wire, so that way the other end can run right through it and you can just fold it instead of trying to twist it around your tree branch. So once you've done that, you're going to put a dab of glue in the middle where you want your wire to go and just fold it down until it's dry. And just a quick tip, if you cut your ends like I did, you're going to want to use this freight check. You can get it on Amazon or Walmart, it's really cheap. You're going to want to cover the entire section that you cut. Just a little bit goes a long way. It does smell kind of bad, guys, so just be aware of that. Use it in a ventilated area. And it's going to need a little bit of time to dry, so go ahead and make sure that you cover each end that you cut. You don't have to worry about it fraying, and it'll look great for a long time. And bada boom, we're done. Once it dries, you can put it on the top of your tree, and just be sure to comment below if you guys tried this project, and I'll see you in the next video.